We are just about to hit the month of September, and the video game season is almost upon us. This is usually where we see the start of tons of games arriving onto our consoles, and it's definitely looking like a pretty busy period. When putting this video together today, September is looking absolutely insane in terms of video game releases, and it was ridiculously hard to narrow down the top 15 games for you to look out for. We do also have some games landing onto Xbox Game Pass as well, so make sure to keep an eye out for that lovely little icon. With that though, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive into the top 15 games you can look forward to playing on both Xbox and Game Pass for this September. First up, Metal Eden rockets onto Xbox as a breakneck sci-fi first-person shooter, and from my time with the demo so far, this game is friggin' awesome. You'll basically don the role of Asuka, who's a hyper-unit android on a suicide mission to essentially reclaim humanity's lost cause, which are trapped within the monolithic city known as Mobius. You will have to dive into relentless cybernetic warfare, where you'll wall run, grapple, dash and jetpack through brutal arenas, unleashing both guns and kinetic parkour. The standout core ripping mechanic though really does let you tear enemy cores mid-battle, and then you can hurl them as explosive grenades or absorb those cores for devastating melee surges. With its blend of that sort of fast-paced combat with vertical traversal and a dystopian atmosphere, Metal Eden is primed to be one of the most electrifying shooters of this year, and I really can't wait to dive back into it. Well, without a doubt, I believe this next game is going to be the largest release of September, and potentially one of the largest for this year. Hollow Knight Silksong is almost here, and I can't wait to dive into this new adventure as it looks so blooming good. This one has you diving into the vast, beautiful world filled with deadly enemies and hidden secrets. We will also have to use our new unique abilities and combat skills with a brand new character named Hornet. The game still looks to feature challenging combat, intricate platforming, and all of the deep lore that expands that Hollow Knight universe that we know and love. Silksong though does promise to be an epic Metroidvania experience that fans will love, and we're ready to delve into the darkness and uncover the mysteries of this enchanting world. It will also be coming to Xbox Game Pass day one, so we can start playing right away on the 4th of September. Hell Is Us is one of the most intriguing games hitting Xbox for this year, and excitement has really been building ever since players got their hands on that beautiful demo. This one is developed in Unreal Engine 5 by Rogue Factor, with creative direction from a former Deus Ex lead, and this action-adventure game looks to blend eerie exploration with tense melee combats. The tone really evokes Death Stranding though, so you can expect vast unsettling landscapes, strange ruins, and bizarre otherworldly foes, but the approach is refreshingly different. Instead of relying on traditional quest markers, players are actually urged to trust their instincts and intuition, making discovery more immersive and also personal. Visually, it's an absolute stunner, with a moody sci-fi atmosphere that's wrapped around every encounter. Early previews so far are already praising its originality, and I'll be sharing my own thoughts and a full technical breakdown in the coming days, so do make sure to subscribe down below. This September, Void Crew makes his long-awaited debut on our Xbox consoles. In this one, you can gather up to 3 friends and dive into a wild cult roguelike adventure where every mission is unpredictable and every choice matters. As fearless clone warriors, you'll crew a starship through uncharted space, taking on roles like pilot, gunner, engineer, or scavenger. Together, you will be confronting the terrifying Hollow, whilst upgrading your ship mid-battle and improving with strategies to outlast relentless waves of enemies and colossal bosses. Void Crew is certainly all about its chaos, creativity, and teamwork, and your success really does depend on quick thinking and trust in your crew. Whether you're dodging enemy fire, repairing systems in a panic, or scrambling for resources, the Void never gives you any time to breathe. It looks utterly fantastic, and it so far had rave reviews over on PC, so it might be worth diving into this one for this September. Cronos the New Dawn is finally touching down on Xbox this month, and it might just be one of the most intriguing horror releases of the entire year. Blending sci-fi mystery with psychological tension, it really is already earning a lot of praise from early reviews for its atmosphere and originality. In this one though, you basically take on the role of what's called a traveller, working for the enigmatic collective as they search a ruined future wasteland for strange time rifts. These portals though do lead back to 1980s Poland, a haunting backdrop that sets Cronos apart from typical survival horror games. Of course though, with it you can expect unsettling environments, story-driven exploration, and gameplay that constantly keeps you on the edge of your seat. With its mix of bleak world building, tense encounters, and their truly unique time-bending mechanics, it really is looking like a fantastic experience for when it lands on Xbox this September. Chaos really is calling us, as Borderlands 4 will be landing onto Xbox very soon and is not holding back like we've seen in previous entries. Instead of revisiting old ground, Gearbox is now throwing us into a galaxy that feels unpredictable at every single turn. Entire planets have been reimagined with layered environments where combat this time doesn't just happen on the ground. That's right, you'll be able to grapple at walls, glide through firefights and unleash mayhem from above. The arsenal? Well, of course it's even wilder, more experimental and more bizarre than we've ever seen before, especially with all of its weapons, mods and everything else, which turn every encounter into improvised carnage. Add in revamped co-op that does reward both chaos and coordination, and you've really got a looter shooter that feels truly next generation. Borderlands has always been pretty good, and the series has always been pretty strong, even though that I thought number 2 was the peak of the series. Still, this one is looking pretty strong, and is looking absolutely insane for this September. For all of you co-op fans, I highly recommend that you mark your calendars for this September, as LEGO Voyagers is finally arriving on the 15th. This imaginative platforming adventure is really designed to be played side by side, making it perfect for friends, couples, or even family members. The twist though is completely non-verbal, so every puzzle, every interaction, and every emotional moment is conveyed through animation and clever design, meaning anyone can jump into it regardless of their language. You'll be guiding 2 tiny Lego bricks on a journey to rebuild their crashed spaceship, venturing through colourful, inventive worlds filled with obstacles and challenges. Fans of LEGO Builder's Journey will feel right at home with this one, but Voyagers does push things even further with full co-op mechanics that require true collaboration. It's refreshing to see LEGO experimenting once again, and Voyagers feels like one of the most creative releases that we've seen in recent years. Get your diaries out, because we've got a date with a game called Skate. Yes, EA's long-awaited Skate reboot will finally be launching as a free-to-play game for all of the Xbox consoles on the 16th of September, but is starting in early access. EA has been playtesting this game for quite some time, and the intent with its early access period is to essentially keep receiving feedback while continually providing fresh challenges, cosmetics, music, world updates, and brand new events. Those though who are familiar with the old Skate game should feel right at home with this one, but keep in mind that this reboot is a multiplayer focused title with live service elements, and it does mean that microtransactions will be involved, so it will definitely take a slightly different form to what we've known in the past. Still, it'll be pretty interesting to see whether it can stick the landing this September, and you'll have to let me know if you're going to dive into this one in the comments below. In February 2024, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor was a hit right out the gate when it sold 1 million copies during its first week in early access. Now, this top-down single-player shooter is ready for its full launch next month, and is also coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. This game places us in control of a single dwarf miner, who can assume one of 4 classes like we saw in the traditional Deep Rock Galactic. Of course, each class gives the dwarf different abilities and options as we explore a procedurally generated planet that's filled with hostile aliens and riches beyond imagination. Upon doing some research, especially because it had the PC release, many have stated that this game is an absolute blast, especially if you love games like Vampire Survivors. That statement alone has me incredibly excited, so I really can't wait to dive into this one. I have mentioned Frostpunk 2 here on the channel quite a few times now, but finally the release date is almost upon us for our Xbox consoles as it lands on the 18th of September. If you're unfamiliar with this one, the series revolves around the remnants of humanity attempting to survive a global natural apocalypse, and the very real ways in which people will do anything they can at any cost just to survive. We will then be forced to make some truly ghastly narrative decisions along the way, and we'll need to harden our hearts in order to get the most out of our long-suffering people. The game launched incredibly well so far, and has been a massive hit over on PC since its launch, which is why I'm so bloody excited to dive into this one. We don't have long to go, and again, it does arrive day one onto Xbox Game Pass. Dying Light the Beast is so eagerly anticipated by so many of you out there, and yes, I do see all the comments here on the channel time and time again. I don't blame you though, as everything that I've seen so far from this entry looks bloody incredible, and I'm always a sucker for some Dying Light goodness. This open world zombie slaying epic though has been dubbed Dying Light 3 by Techland themselves, and in many ways this major title kickstarts the next generation of this series. Of course, the last player saw Carl Crane know was during Dying Light's story expansion called The Following, so I know that many of you are eager to know what's happened since that time. As it's a Dying Light game though, you can still expect all of the excellent parkour elements, the gruesome zombies, and the excellent combat that we saw in all of previous entries, but elevated to a brand new level. For me, the 19th does need to hurry up, and I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments below. One of the many new Xbox games from Gamescom 2025 that we just learned more about is called Jump Space, which officially launches into early access on the 19th of September. Surprisingly, Xbox Series X and S players will be able to play the game even through Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass in its game preview version, which is some incredible news which I kind of wasn't expecting. As with the last gameplay trailer I saw, I'm kind of feeling very excited to jump into this one. The co-op gameplay looks like so much fun, and I can envision my friends and myself just having an absolute blast as we explore the stars. It's giving all of the sci-fi vibes that I kind of need, and just looks absolutely stunning. A frantic looking first-person shooter really does look to have me hooked, and I'm definitely going to try and review this one prior to its launch. This September, Silent Hill F finally emerges on our Xboxes as a bold new chapter in the iconic horror series. This one though is set in 1960s Japan, and you'll step into the shoes of a high schooler who returns to a fog-shrouded town and confronts its eerie supernatural transformation. This one of course balances psychological dread with stealthy melee combat, so forget rifles and think pipes, spears and close quarters survival. This new survival horror game though looks to lean into J-horror roots, blending haunting beauty with grotesque nightmare. With its atmospheric setting, uniquely Japanese aesthetic and innovative gameplay, Silent Hill F is looking like a fantastic entry into this franchise once again. It's so bloody haunting from what we've seen so far, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this franchise goes in terms of its brand new direction. Get ready this month to walk through dimensions as Sonic Racing Crossworlds hits Xbox, and it looks to be high octane and very inventive in the karting chaos. Forget one-track monotony like previous entries, as this one actually now lets you race across land, sea, air and space, and even time via what they call travel rings. If you're wondering what these are though, these are essentially entry points that will warp you mid-race into entirely different tracks. With 24 tracks at launch and 15 interdimensional shortcuts, plus a roster of over 23 iconic Sonic characters expanding further via DLC, Crossworlds is really looking to up its speed and also its style. Like any kart racer, you can customize your ride, mix gadgets and even taunt opponents as you carve through rivals in crossplay ready races for up to 12 players. The playtest is currently ongoing for this weekend, and I know many are excited for the full release on the 25th of September. While it was announced at the Sony showcase a couple of months ago, don't panic, we are very much getting Final Fantasy Tactics on Xbox as it does land this month. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Invalis Chronicles will mark the first time this classic PS1 game has ever been available on Xbox consoles, and is currently set to launch on the 30th of September. So not only are we getting one of the absolute best entries in the franchise's long history, but we're also hopefully seeing the start of a change that might see more Final Fantasy games hitting Xbox very soon. This new release though will not only allow players to experience the original title in its original form, but also enjoy an enhanced version of this game with numerous additions including voice acting and so much more. It's really exciting to see so much more Final Fantasy on our Xbox consoles, and I've heard that this one is pretty good. Now, I did want to highlight a couple of games that are coming out this month, which are huge, but as they are yearly franchises, they didn't quite make the top 15 list. Of course, we are seeing the new installments of NBA 2K26 and EA Sports FC 26, with both of them looking to bring a ton of improvements across the board to make us players happy. For me, I am pretty guilty of being an EA Sports FC player, and yes, I do feed into that sort of yearly release cycle, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the new changes that have been made in this one. I have been playing in the closed tests, and whilst I can't say much in the moment, I'm firmly putting it on my buy list for this September, so make sure to check out my review near the time of its release. With NBA 2K26, I know this one is the same score when it comes to its changes, but I'm not a massive fan, so I'm kind of keen to hear your thoughts if you're looking forward to this one in the comments below. Whilst you're here though, and if you've enjoyed this video, do smash that like button and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day, especially as I have so many highly anticipated reviews from Hell Is Us and even Silksong this coming week. If you're sticking around though and want to see more Xbox content, why don't you check out the video on the screen now. I recently reviewed Helldivers 2, which dropped onto our Xbox consoles, and I gave both my thoughts and technical analysis of this brand new experience.